Just start it now. Okay, we're live, so still got a couple of minutes. So what I'll do is remove this part. We'll just wait for a couple of people to join.
Great.
Just letting people in at the moment, so we'll get started in a few seconds. Okay, I think we'll get started. So hello and good morning, everyone, and welcome to SkyJet's webinar series. Today is focused on mastering product governance, and it's a webinar for decision makers. I'm Sue Sivanraja, the Head of Customer Success at SkyJet, and co-hosting with me today is Lisa, the founder and CEO. So we do have quite a lot to cover today, so we'll take any questions and answers towards the end. And we'll share these along with you with the recording after today's session. So just to dive straight in, today's focus is sharing our experience of having 100 clients on the platform and what we're seeing to be common challenges with leaders in navigating the changing product landscape. So with our experience across our product team, we're showing you the benefits in digitizing your product lifecycle governance. So we'll be sharing some key strategies and take you through a short case study of the benefits of the change to be seen by one of our clients. So we'll leave a few minutes towards the end for Q&A. So I'll just hand over to Lisa now to address some key challenges.
Thanks, Sue, and hi, everyone. So I'm Lisa Ison, and today I'm just going to share some insights, some global insights that I'm seeing in the conversation that I'm having with our clients, but also with CEOs across a broad range of markets. So in the US, UK, Europe, and of course across Australia. And I think one thing that's sort of clear from those conversations, abundantly clear, is that the world of product management is undergoing significant change, particularly in the last 12 months. So we all know that new technologies are emerging, that's obvious, but also regulations and particularly the regulatory environment that applies to product governance is also changing significantly. The customer expectations are changing, but we're also particularly seeing the areas of environmental, social, and governance. So that whole ESG agenda reaching new heights for product teams. And when you pull all these factors together, what I'm seeing is that it's increasingly challenging for businesses and their product teams not only to stay ahead of the competition for your commercial outcomes, but also to effectively manage the life cycle in each of your products. So let's just dive quickly into some of those challenges just to sort of frame up the best practices that I'll go through. So, if I was to look at some of these challenges, it is really around your post launch product management and oversight. So, seeing plenty of tools out there for your new product development, adding your features. But once your products are launched, it's becoming challenging for product teams to manage that performance. Product portfolios are getting more complex and bigger, and we're seeing conversations around this area of sort of feature factories, plenty of features and large product portfolios, but this is causing challenges down the road for product teams. Now, what that leads to is it's also getting difficult for product teams to monitor and assess non-financial risk in those life cycles. So it can be quite easy to quantify your financial risks, and they are important, but your non-financial risks, things like providing fair value to your customers, addressing those customer complaints early, and your sustainability claims at that product level, these are becoming more challenging for product teams to address. Now, lastly, we are seeing product teams adopt lifecycle governance in their portfolios. So it's one thing to have that framework, but how do you operationalize that so it's effective? You're not sitting in large governance meetings that are demanding lots of slide packs. How do you do that efficiently and effectively and collaborate and do your product reviews? So that's just some of the key challenges that we're seeing across a broad range of industry sectors. Now, just diving in, I guess despite these challenges, we are seeing some really positive benefits of embracing lifecycle management in your team. So I'll just take a couple of minutes to explore and share some of those business benefits. So, firstly, having that life cycle management and consistency in your teams, of course, you're enhancing the quality of your products and that kind of customer focus and satisfaction. You're putting that customer at the center of all the life cycle decisions that you're making, and taking that holistic approach in your product management helps you definitely improve and refine those products after they're launched. The second area is that we're also seeing sort of productivity benefits or cost benefits of adopting lifecycle management. So, lifecycle management can guide you through those steps that you need to simplify your product portfolios, take out or exit poor performing products that might be demanding time and driving cost into your business. So, having that life cycle disciplines helping with that simplification, and that is a big focused area at the moment. Now, the next area is around life cycle management. I'd say that what we're seeing is really a focus on using it to drive the growth in your product portfolios and your innovation strategies. So it's not just about focusing on compliance and managing risk, but you're getting those dual benefits of growth and simplifying your product portfolios, but then also complying with your regulations and having the confidence that you've got a solid framework around that, whether it's to prevent getting fines for your regulatory breaches, preventing greenwashing, but at the end of the day, just protecting your reputation and building out that product trust. So some significant benefits there to focus on from your life cycle governance. So just over onto the next slide, I've just pulled out here some best practices. So obviously, I could talk about these best practices in detail for the entire webinar, but today I just wanted to share out three or four. So happy to take further questions on these. But firstly, what I'm seeing as a clear best practice is that your teams, or you do have a clear product strategy at that portfolio level, but also at a product level, and assigning a key owner to that strategy through each of the life cycle stages, and having that well set out product strategy and assigning someone to lead that product strategy through the stages is obviously helping guide the decision making and alignment you need across the organization. The second key area is around collaboration. Obviously, product management demands good collaboration in a business, but it's best practice to be able to come together and collaborate across the different departments, from your customer facing back into your risk and compliance, and to do that so that it facilitates the decision making you need for your product success. And with that collaboration, it's one thing to have collaboration, but what we're also seeing is that particularly your risk and compliance teams, they're getting involved in your product life cycles right up at the beginning of those design stage. So they're helping the product team set out what are the regulatory obligations, and you're getting benefits from that when you're doing your launch ready checklists, but also making more informed decisions across the life cycle. So really getting that collaboration early in the life cycles. Just two more best practices. Obviously, a big focus on using data and analytics to be able to guide your decision making and monitor that performance, whether that's monthly dashboards or your annual product reviews. And Sue will show you some great examples of that in the case study shortly. And then the final area is, as we all know, product management's not about launching a product and leaving it there. This idea of continuous improvement across a life cycle, and that continuous improvement, we're definitely seeing best practice of monitoring your metrics monthly, but doing quarterly and comprehensive annual product reviews to embrace that continuous improvement at the product level. So that's the best practices. And then one final one, obviously, it's best practice as to what we're seeing with organisations putting in place a digital operating system for their lifecycle management and assisting them, automating right from that design, your launch ready checklists, your monitoring and your reporting. And then underneath that, you can see on this slide also embedding in that digital tooling all of the enterprise-wide governance and administration that you need to be able to make that really effective through automating and removing any gaps that come from your manual systems. So that's a quick overview of those best practices and a digital framework for it. And I'll now hand back to Sue to show you some real live case studies of how that comes to life in a customer example. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you. So yes, look, absolutely. I mean, everything that you've talked about today is really, really key in what we're seeing. So really, to put these learnings into context, just to share with you one of our case studies on a client of ours, a multinational energy company managing a large, complex product portfolio, faced some significant product challenges. Product data was siloed in multiple systems, and the product team had no systematic structure to conduct regular product reviews. And we're seeing that these challenges are not uncommon. We see this issue in most large organisations. Now, we also know that having the right data to be critical in product success. So to help our client navigate their own process and data systems, SkyJet's customer success onboarding framework over 6 weeks onboarded a product team of 10 stakeholders and digitised their product lifecycle governance framework. And this included training, workshops and integrations with their data teams to automate and manage their end-to-end product lifecycle process. So the product teams now conduct monthly, quarterly and annual reviews using the parameters of the framework we developed to meet their goals. They're actually saving more than 45% of their time on product reviews, and I'll be brutally honest, they were barely conducting reviews just because their data was sitting in disparate systems. So look, this is just one example of the benefits that we're seeing in implementing a product challenge in SkyJet. And I suppose what I want to do now is just take you through a quick overview of our platform. Our platform is designed to help businesses of all sizes effectively manage their product lifecycle. So, what you're seeing on the left hand side is our purple sidebar, which contains all of the tools that you need to conduct your lifecycle management process from design to launch and continuous improvement. This includes all enterprise wide tools that you need for your governance, especially managing risks, approval controls, and record keeping. The main dashboard serves as a centralized view of your product lifecycle, and this includes reports on the health and risk of your products as well as progress against your goals. So, if you want to learn more, definitely reach out for a demo, and we have lots of videos available on our website too. So today I just want to focus on some key areas, and that's really our reporting section that we have available, and we get some really great feedback from our businesses that we're working with and business leaders to help them make better strategic decisions. So just to jump through what you're seeing on your screen there, whatever your business goal really is, whether it's revenue or sales or accessing, having your data in one location is really powerful. And this is just one example of how we have a number of clients accessing their own data to make better data-driven decisions. We have a number of dashboards to choose from, including a risk matrix as well. And what we're seeing is businesses can save time and money to work collaboratively. So using SkyJet automation tools, our features enable our clients to work greatly collaboratively. So whether it be with pricing teams or whether it be with product teams or compliance teams, this gives them the flexibility that they need to work collaboratively. Meanwhile, at the product level, product managers can be flexible around their thresholds and strategy changes as that obviously occurs. So all of your data is assessed and automatically charted into performance charts as well as risks and insights for opportunities. So automating data definitely trumps any manual reporting. So again, please reach out. So in addition to the reports, I'm just showcasing here that our platform is product centric. You can develop your product designs as well as managing the ongoing cycle of reviews to help with overall business lifecycle improvement based on the centralized governance framework. The platform serves as a repository for all product-related information too. As I mentioned earlier, you can work collaboratively with your team. So what you're seeing now is our insights report. So at the product level, you have access to our products health check dashboard. Our powerful AI analytics engine assesses all of your data risks and product metrics that you're inputting, including ratings. And we get really great feedback that our platform is most comprehensive and also user-friendly. So we definitely invite you to check it out, sign up for a demo, and please reach out and we'll be happy to help you along your sort of journey into implementing this. So what I'll do now is just switch through to Q&A. So we do have a couple of questions. So I'll just read this one out. So the question is, typically there is a separation between product operational readiness and product life cycle. Do you see this as a function of product managers or owners, or do you believe a dedicated role is required within a business to focus on life cycle governance?
Yeah,
I'll let you have
that's a great question. I've actually just been typing an answer on the chat to the person that asked that question. So sorry, I'll just go through that. So look, what we're seeing, I think the important thing is that a product strategy always has an owner through each of those life cycle stage. So it can be problematic to have a focus on designing a new product and then that old sort of fashion when it's launched, sort of lobbing it over the fence for someone else to pick up the kind of business case and all the why of that designing that product. And when that person receives it, they don't have any of the deep insights around why it was designed, the regulatory obligations, the commercial business case. So the important thing is that that life cycle has that owner end to end, and you're documenting the decisions, the strategic decisions that are being made. And if you are going to hand over to that team, all of that knowledge gets handed over to that new product manager to carry on to implement that strategy for what was set out. So so definitely needing that end-to-end lifecycle management of the strategy.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lisa. So we've also got a quick question here. How do you automate the data? So look, this is, I'm happy to answer this one, but a common question, because obviously we capture a number of data inputs, and really the data inputs is, especially around performance monitoring, there's multiple streams of data that may be necessary, as well as calculations, which is what we can also do in our platform. So we can do API integrations, we can also do CSV via SFTP data integrations too. And part of the onboarding, just to explain the parameters around that, advanced onboarding with customer success just helps you jump through those hoops with your data team. So we run simultaneous workshops apart from training to ensure that your data team sort of meets the milestones, as long as obviously they've got the time available to fit that in. So they're all sort of the timelines that we capture before we kick off. So yeah, that's to answer that question. So I've got another question here. So how does onboarding work? So look, I suppose, Lisa, do you want to answer that, or I'll give that a go?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I think just a quick comment on your previous question around the data integration. I think I'm seeing a couple of themes there where across those life cycle decisions that, capturing at that product level your customer complaints, as well as your sales data, but that customer complaints data is becoming important to be able to integrate that into your life cycle monitoring and your strategic product reviews, but also seeing sort of best practice product teams with that data integration, sharing their product information out into either their supply chain or their distribution channel, and receiving that back. So in the SkyJet platform, we have a connect module where you can just seamlessly share that data requirements out to your supply chain or your sales channel, and schedule that to have it come back so that your product teams are getting those insights around the early warning on customer complaints, and being able to drill down into what's causing that across the product life cycle itself. And then just about the sort of customer success framework. So again, implementing a product lifecycle framework. We do find that a number of businesses have a framework, but it's manual. So part of our onboarding process, and Sue can add some detail to this, is navigating a sort of structured onboarding approach so that you're successfully coming on board, training your team, and doing the learning and change management that's required around that, but doing it in a very structured way so that you're almost kick-starting and lifting that standard of your product lifecycle management in the first 90 days, and then moving through some structured business goals and implementing each of those, and then moving on to the next one. So I do see a lot that product teams get onboarded. Their business goal might be to review the products in their portfolio for performance, and then they may move on to focusing on exiting some products, or move on to a business goal around product level sustainability reporting. So we're seeing that very structured approach being successful.
Yeah, just to add to that as well, Lisa. Yeah, so it is really centered. The onboarding is really centered around the business goal. So we often see some clients of ours want to really unpack the whole thing. So which also is digital transformation on their organisational side, which is quite a long process. So some clients come to us once they're ready, and some clients obviously just navigate to a particular regulation that they're trying to comply with, or if there's one area that they just want to really focus on. So we have lots of sort of packages available to choose from, and that will determine obviously the breadth of the onboarding framework that we use. So yeah, definitely feel free to ask. So look, we've got time for one more question. So look, we get this one a lot. So do you have approval controls, and how do you implement sort of those gateway systems? So, I mean, I'll quickly touch on that, and Lisa, maybe you can jump in. We do have an approval controls mechanism to replicate your staged gateway approval system in your organisation. Obviously, what we're doing in the platform is digitizing that process. So we wrap teams around products, and that ring fencing team also delineates between a certain hierarchy based on your permission level. So our permission levels are structured for those approval controls, and they're set at the organisational level. So they're as flexible as you like, but approval controls do have a number of sort of approvals to sort of go through, including comments along the way. Would you have anything to sort of add to that, Lisa?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, all of the governance and administration tools you need for lifecycle management and governance are in the platform, and you can create those based on your own framework. I think at a top level, what I'm seeing is that organisations, of course, want to maintain their agile processes, but they are looking to embed some, approval controls at each stage, particularly around your regulatory requirements and your launch ready checklists, embedding those, and drawing on the expertise of their risk and their legal teams to be able to support at those very critical stages, like launch or product information. So the platform itself has approval controls around that, and very flexible to be able to assign that to a team, like your legal team, or assign that to an individual, and get that review, get comments, and be able to keep a nice record of that decision, who signed off on it, and what was the basis of that, and that all just gets automated into that digital thread of that product, and it's there for you to be able to share with regulators, or to go back and have that life cycle history. So yes, that's definitely in the platform.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. So we're just going to sort of wrap up. So look, thanks for your questions. I suppose what we can do is share the rest of the questions, obviously, that we haven't been able to answer today with you after today's session. So just wanted to sort of take you on this journey of a couple of key learnings from today's webinar. That in having a product lifecycle governance process is really an essential part of what we're seeing for a successful product management strategy. And implementing this doesn't have to be difficult. We often find product teams wanting to do it all, as I mentioned earlier, but picking that one business goal to implement this and understand the value quickly, we're seeing great value amongst product teams. So we definitely recommend working in a phased approach to meet the next goal. So we're well equipped to manage this process through our customer success onboarding program. So definitely please connect with me, and happy to have a chat with how we can sort of make that happen. Just want to thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll be sharing you with this link to this webinar so you can watch it in your own time, and some questions and answers that we've been asked today. So we look forward to helping you on your journey, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sue.
Thanks.